What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 57 of C4SVillains. I am your host JB and I am here as always with the Council of Villains, Abe, Steve, and Vash. Got the whole council here to talk about Moon Knight episode 1. Guys, thank you so much for joining me.
It was a must that the whole council showed up because that shit was fire. Had to be.
That's a fact, because like part of me was gonna be like, yo, James, I can't make it, but I'm pushing myself through. My sinus and allergies are killing me, but I'm here. The show was good. Moon Knight had to be here because it's a comic book character I don't know much about, so it's a great experience because that's very rare for me when it comes to shows that are being adapted to characters that I don't know much about. So it's very exciting, and can't wait to talk with the boys. So it's gonna be a fun night, Friday night. And let's see if I survive too.
Yeah, I mean, y'all know that I be all over the place and also not anywhere at the same time. But I had to make sure I pulled up for this one because I watched that episode today, like just 3 hours ago, and that shit was hitting for 41 minutes. That shit was hitting, so I had to pull up for this one for real.
Yeah, man. We'll talk about it a little bit more once we get through the episode, but we were talking about it a little bit off air, but I would love to talk to everyone and know, like, what do you think is the best, like, first episode of this, like, new age MCU Disney Plus series?
Question about that. Do we count the Daredevil, Luke Cage, and everything else that's now part of the whole MCU now?
That's why I just said, like, just the Disney Plus series.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to count those.
No, but what happened? Different direction, different vision at the time. It's very
like to me, it's a little bit different. We could definitely do that too. Like we could do like both of them. Like we could do just the Disney Plus shows, and then we can do like all the Marvel TV shows if you wanted to.
All right, cool. That's just a question. Nice.
Yeah. So before we get into the Moon Knight episode 1 spoilers discussion, there was some news topics that we just wanted to bring up here on the show. So Obi-Wan Kenobi has been pushed 2 days to Friday, May 27th, and it's going to premiere with its first 2 episodes. I am very, very excited for Obi-Wan Kenobi in general, and then to hear that we're going to get 2 episodes right off the bat. Very, very excited for that. Vash, what are your thoughts on them pushing it to Fridays for new episodes and then them premiering with the first 2 episodes?
It's very curious because Disney Plus, I think, has been testing the waters of what works for them on their Wednesdays and Fridays, because their original show, I think WandaVision was Fridays, and then I think Falcon and Winter Soldier was Friday, and then they went back to Wednesday with Loki. So I feel like they're testing the waters of what they want to keep on Wednesdays, what works on Fridays. So it's very curious to see how is this marketing strategy is going to work out for them. And are they going to see, is Marvel Days going to be Wednesday? Is Star Wars is going to be Fridays? So I hope that's the case, because if now all content stays on Friday, if all content stays on Wednesday, like, it's going to be very interesting how it's going to be moving forward. And how does it affect with 2 episodes? I'm glad, because they know that how hyped people is for Obi-Wan. We want to see the Grand Inquisitor. We want to see the scores popping out. We want to see Darth Vader. We want to see Anakin. So I'm sure Disney Plus knows how this is going to be trending that Friday. And people know it's already May, spring season's going through already. People might not even go out. People might even stay up just to watch it when it comes out at 3 a.m. EST. So who knows how it's going to be attacking. So maybe they're going to be having something out released on Wednesdays. That's also a possibility. So curious to see if we are going to review it every Friday. If not, I know me and Chris did discuss that we're going to the reviews for it as well. So I'm excited overall. Can't wait to see what happens with Obi-Wan. So it seems like it's going to be a short run since 2 episodes is going to be dropping that week. So I mean, it should be done by the end of June then.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely be reviewing Obi-Wan for sure. Definitely. Steve, what about you?
I don't know the reasoning behind them pushing it back 2 days, but you get 2 days for a second episode. Okay, cool. Like that's a fair trade to me. So how would we? The only thing I'm wondering is, since it releases on Fridays, how would we review it?
I mean, we did it before. It'll just be tight, like you see it in the morning if you can, and then we, do the best that we can do at night. Like, I'll make sure, like, we have the best notes possible. Like, I'll make sure that we're good. But yeah, it will be a little bit more difficult than Moon Knight, for instance, where we can see it Wednesday and have, like, essentially 2 days to, like, let it sink in and take notes and everything. But
yeah,
it's doable. We'll see what we can do.
Fair enough. I mean, other than that, I'm excited.
Or Disney Plus sends us the copy 2 days earlier every week.
Right.
We just have the cover next and ready. To send it to the C4 Spoilers. Nice email account. That would be a pleasure. Thank you, Disney Plus or Disney or Lucasfilm. Appreciate the plug.
Hey, what about you?
Send it to me.
Look, I'm just excited, I don't mind it. It just means, because for the most part, I like to come into these reviews kind of fresh anyway. Where I'm at the minimum, I may have watched it the night before, unless it really draws me and it's just like, nah, because like Loki, I stayed up to watch that as soon as I could. I really didn't want to wait on Loki. This one, Moon Knight, is looking like one of those where I'm gonna stay up anyway, and y'all know my sleeping schedule, so I'm gonna see it as early as I physically can, regardless. So it's already fine. So I'm fine. But I mean, with Obi-Wan in general, I'm fine with that. So yeah, it is what it is. Reviews will still be fun, and they're gonna be fucking lit. I can tell you that right now. May's gonna be a fun ass month. It's gonna be a fun ass month.
Yeah,
Not me talking about Obi-Wan and I'm mentioning Moon Knight because I'm so excited.
But Obi-Wan director Deborah Chow, like, she talked about the fact that we're going to get a completely different version of Vader that we've never seen before. She said he's not going to be a New Hope Vader. He's going to be that Vader right after Revenge of the Sith. So we'll get to see Hayden Christensen actually get to do something different type of Vader. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, are you excited?
Yes!
Let's get it.
Ain't no other motherfucking answer. We about to see Lord Vader. We about to see peak Lord Vader.
Oh, yeah.
This is peak. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's lit. It's lit. Oh, yeah. It's lit. Boy, you think I'm asleep?
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see where it's going to go with it. I mean, I'm excited to see Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader again. Despite people that somehow didn't like him as Darth Vader, I am excited to see him. And then we're going to get to see him in that light transitioning into the suit and everything like that. So that transition is going to be fire, just because I'm assuming towards the end of the season, he'll actually don the suit, or maybe he'll wait till next season or whatever. But
no, he already have the
suit. He's already in it. This is after Revenge of the Sith, so he's already in
so
the
he's
suit.
already
Revenge of the Sith. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking,
so now we get to really see them peak years, what the comics is talking about right now. You know? And what I'm excited, especially for Hayden Christensen, is like, I had no problem with his role before. You know, you can blame writing on that.
Writing
but
and George
as an
Lucas.
actor, just remember, it's been how many years? How many years has it been since Dupre?
20.
It's been 20 years. As an actor.
It's been
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm here thinking that at least he's put in the work to hone his craft. So whatever he's about, whatever skills he's developed and matured and honed, that he's about to bring to this specific role, which in my opinion, he already did a good job with. Yo, we about to see, and they already said it's about to be a different. We know it's not going to be the same Vader. Oh yeah, that shit got me horny, yo.
It's almost 20 years because Revenge of the Sith was 2005.
May 19th, 2005, Revenge of the Sith is when it came out.
Yeah,
almost 1 year.
almost
He
20
had
fucking years.
chance to mature and grow and to improve his. I'm giving him benefit of the doubt because on the flip side, maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he remained stagnant or maybe he got worse. We're gonna find out. But I'm giving him benefit of the doubt that this shit is gonna work out. It's gonna hit.
Hayden Christensen is a good actor. I just think he chooses bad projects, if I'm being honest. I think he's a good actor. Because in Revenge of the Sith, like, when he has to kill the younglings, like, you can see all of the pain, the rage, all of the emotions just from his facial expressions. Like, that's a hard thing for an actor to do, to just do all of your acting in your face. So he's talented. He's just in shit projects. Like Ryan Reynolds, you know? Like, Ryan Reynolds is actually a good actor. It's just half of his projects are just dog shit scripts. Like, I don't get it.
He's just very fortunate. Yeah, he's just very fortunate to have gotten a second shot at Wade Wilson and to knock it out the ballpark. Very fortunate because, like, look, when you think about it, you look at his movies and it's just like, yo, you can't help but portray who you are as a person in your roles. So it's just, I still haven't seen the Amityville Horror that he did, but I heard he was not that bad in it.
He's good.
Yeah, I heard he was not that bad in it. But then you look at like Green Lantern. I don't blame him for Green Lantern. I blame the writing. I blame the story.
I still like Hal Jordan as him. I still did.
I mean, because he has a personality where it could work. He has a personality. It would fit. Can you imagine this Ryan Reynolds going back and forth with Batman? Can you imagine that?
It'd be hilarious.
Just like Ryan Reynolds would, like, this shit would be interesting. It would be funny, just like how it is in animated series and in the comics, like that back and forth that they have.
But which one would you think will work better, Ryan Reynolds with Ben Affleck or with Robert?
Okay, I still haven't seen the Batman, so I can't offer that opinion. I'm sorry.
With Ben, well, both. I think it could work either way because Robert's Batman is so much more like serious. Like how jokey, like Hal Jordan can be sometimes. It'll be interesting to see like the parallels between the two. Yeah. So that would be really funny. I think it would be really fun with Ben too. Yeah, either one for me.
Same. I think I would go with Robert Pattinson just because of, like you said, the seriousness. And then Ben Affleck, we've seen him kind of not be serious, not as in the Batman, not be serious, but we've seen his character not be serious. So if you see Robert Reynolds being silly, he might play off of it a little bit, and it wouldn't give that same feel that Robert Pattinson would just give, like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, type of Batman. So I would go with Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Abe, I need you to see the Batman. Like, I mean, it's going to be on HBO Max in like 2 weeks. So it's like, I need you to see this shit, bro. Like, it's so good.
I'm still trying to find time to see the movie a second time, and I'm still trying to find time to see JJK.
Sounds like I'll be able to watch it whenever I want in 2 weeks. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for this question. Hold on to this question, Steve. In 2 weeks, I got you.
I also want to see JJK Zero again. Like, I've seen it. Same. I've seen it twice now, and I need to see it again.
That shit was fire.
I said this on Anime Lately, but I think JJK Zero is one of the best anime movies of the last 5 years. Like, in my opinion, like,
No, I'm just thinking, other than what the biggest one is Demon Slayer, I guess, sales wise, but like the best one.
I mean, Dragon Ball, was it Super Broly or that shit was heat. Like, as a person who shitted on, who not shits on, but like doesn't like to give DBZ his flowers because Toriyama just doesn't know how to really write, or at least he fell off from writing. I watched that movie and I was just like, huh, this is good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Same.
The reason why I say that is because, like, narratively, I think they just did a better job than most other anime movies. Like, I love the My Hero movies, but to watch Yuta's journey from the beginning of that movie to the end, instead of it being... Mm-hmm.
Are you a manga reader?
I am.
I feel like for us manga readers, it gets that much more better because of what we know. You know, like...
That's for sure.
What we know. I feel like for anime onlys, that I could see their opinion being different. when it comes to narrative, because they
Yeah.
don't know what we and they don't know how much we let it. Just like, oh, this shit starts adding up.
Like
they
you
don't
know
that
me.
yet,
Like
so-
I like character driven
Yeah.
stories. And it's like, again, the
yeah.
My Hero movies are great, but it's like you get the mission, you go do the mission, and then it's over, right? But this was like a character story.
Yeah. So the difference between this and that is JJK is canon as well. So
Right,
it's
right.
hard to compare a movie that's not canon to
That's
a
fair.
movie that is canon.
No.
And then with it already having source material with Chapter 0, it kind of like already builds on to that hype as well. So
Which
I
anime
believe
onlys have no idea about. This was their intro, and the way they ended it, I'm so sorry, but the way they ended it too, by letting us know, like, yo, we're gonna get more, which could end up being anime only material. I mean, original anime material that none of us will know about, whether it's anime onlys or manga readers, and it would still all be canon. Because if you guys noticed, like Sam pointed out, he had mentioned Miguel. Like it all comes from, it's gonna be canon, but everybody's gonna be surprised by it. So shout out to Sam from Anime Lately for that catch.
the only pushback I'll give you is that Gintama final movie was fire, but
Didn't see it.
That's unfair.
But you were and you a big fan, you a super fan, so I expect you to stand up for it.
And play the same for Bell. Bell as well did come out last year. I don't think I've seen it yet. I have seen it with Sam, and Bell is a very good movie too.
Yeah, still need to see that too. But yeah, jumping back into movie news, wanted to move on to the next topic. Sharon Stone has been cast as Victoria Cord in the HBO Max Blue Beetle movie. So first question, just want to do like a temp check. I want to know what you guys like. I want to test your excitement level for the Blue Beetle movie at this point. And then how do you feel about Sharon Stone stepping into this movie as the villain of the movie, Victoria Cord? Steve, I'd like to start with you.
So I know that was it Tom Cord is a beetle himself.
Ted Cord, yeah.
Ted Cord in different chapters or whatever, in different verses or whatever, in different comic runs, Ted Cord is a beetle himself. So I'm wondering what her relationship is to Ted Cord, or if they're just going to pretend like Ted Cord doesn't exist. And if that's the case, you just changed a person that is an actual Blue Beetle, who was a variation of the Blue Beetle, into a villain. So I'm wondering what DC is doing with it. But at the end of the day, I like Sharon Stone. And then we get a female villain. So something that we haven't seen in a little while, where we get a nice female villain with a male protagonist. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I'm interested in following. And then, like I said, I'm interested in Sharon Stone in general, just because I haven't seen her on the big screen in a little while. But my biggest wonders, you know what I'm saying, is how they're going to do this whole Cord thing for people that are comic book readers, because we know Ted Cord is a Blue Beetle. So that's interesting to see how they play that storyline off for us.
For me, I think they'll do it kind of like the way Young Justice did, where it's like Ted Cord was definitely a Blue Beetle, but he died. And let's say like Victoria is his sister, she takes over Cord Industries, and then somehow Jaime gets the scarab, and then she like tries to get it back, but she wants to use it for evil, whatever. It could be something like that, right? I think it would be really interesting if you introduced the Reach. Like, what if we find out that she's working with the Reach? I think that'll be really interesting.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Hey, what about you?
Well, to be honest, that's also two things. One, I am not overly familiar with Blue Beetle aside from what we got in the animated series and whatnot. I never really read the comics, but that's why I'm so excited for this one. Because from what we got in the animated series and his appearances, he's a dope character, and the history is pretty dope. But even furthermore, too, to me, it's why I'm hoping that Peacemaker really does end up connecting with this all, because, you know, when we look at the butterflies, a theory that we had mentioned on here and that had been floating around too was that, what if this is DC's version of the Reach, or what if they are a precursor to the Reach? And if you're able to connect both Peacemaker and Blue Beetle, despite how different like the maturity, well, not I don't want to say maturity, but the guidelines, parental guidelines, may be for both shows because if I remember correctly, Blue Beetle is going to be more of a family-oriented show. Is that what they stressed upon, or
something like that? I would have to go back and read the description.
Yeah, something to that effect. But if they were to fit, the fanboy in me is like, all right, DC, I'm willing to try this again. Let's start off with the shows, make a whole DC extended universe. Let's start small from there first. HBO, let's do it here, and then we build out, and then we can take everything back in and have. I'm holding out. Should I hold out? Probably not, but I'm a sucker for pain. All right,
there's reason to have hope. They're not Sony, Disney has made really good comic book movies, so it's possible.
Your review. First of all, for anybody who hasn't, head over to the Careful Spoilers.
And go. I was just about to segue that because I was gonna.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. So, nice one. So head over to the C4S YouTube page and go watch. Boy, JB. First of all, I didn't even know the movie dropped this weekend. I thought with all the delays,
which is wild, yo. You got me laughing in the group chat.
I saw him do this, and I'm like, damn. How you see this movie a year early? And then I see the thumbnail in his face.
I was laughing. Abe said in the group chat said, after the movie come out for another year, I'm like, bro, like we get it. It's been delayed 6 times.
Pushed it to 20,
but we have posted in the group chat that's been coming out, and you just like, oh shit, coming out now, shit.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, delay, and I'm like, all right, so 2023, bet, no problem. And then I see his face, and I was like, I already know where it's going. Then I watch it, I'm like, yeah, you know what, Morbius, I catch you whenever you're free, and whenever I am.
Which that won't be for a while.
I have nothing else to do. So,
yeah, man. I can't consciously tell someone, go to the theater. You're going to have so much fun watching Morbius in the theater.
Yo, so it's funny that me and Sam were going to watch Morbius this weekend like a month ago, and then we're going to watch Sonic 2 next weekend. So we said, yo, look, Sam, if it ain't good, let's just get dumb high and just watch it. If not, let's get drunk and watch it and see what happens. But then I think this past Monday or Wednesday, me and Sam said like, yo, so the early reviews are coming out and they're really bombing it. So I was like, I'm good. I don't want to go watch. I'm like, okay, shit. If you don't, then I guess I'm good too then, because I'm just gonna watch it just to have somebody with you. But if it's just me by myself, I'm good then.
Definitely watch it whenever it's on streaming at some point. But I cannot consciously tell someone to spend their hard-earned money to watch this movie when you've seen 10,000 movies that are exactly the same as this. Morbius doesn't move the needle in any direction. It's just the same generic, boring, bullshit superhero origin you could possibly think of. Dude, think of just think of what you think is going to happen in the movie, watch it, and everything you think of is going to happen in the movie. It is the most generic fucking thing you can find. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And then, like we talked, I'm not gonna go on a tangent. Go watch the review after this is done. But no fucking blood. How do you have vampires with no blood? It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
It's crazy how Morbius as a character is so good in the cartoons of the Spider-Man 95 cartoon, and it's so good in the comics. But like, it questions you is like Sony. Like, I'm gonna just segue. So with Blue Beetle, I have hope because HBO Max behind the realm and also some interesting people behind the realm. But with Sony, I never have faith. So it's like, okay, yeah, I don't know what the fuck y'all doing because y'all just trying to announce movies and don't even know what y'all trying to do. And with Blue Beetle, how you ask me how is my temperature of it? I'm excited because if I'm not sure if you guys saw the most recent Saturday Night Live that happened with Oscar Isaac. His monologue was great. I love it. It was comedy. One of my favorite lines that I felt close to home was when he said his whole name, and he said, my name is Oscar Isaac Hernandez Estrada, and then he said, and you know what Hollywood chose? The most white name, Oscar Isaac. And I was like, damn, I feel that so much because my name is Miguel Angel Parra Patino, and I got 4 names, so I'm like, I can understand where you're coming from that. So just to see Oscar Isaac, who is Spanish and who also does Moon Knight, that's some good type of content. and seeing it on screen gives faith for other people that want to become actors and actresses in the future. That also does connect to Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, the character Jaime Reyes, is also Spanish. So to see that character on the big screen, that's dope as hell. And to add to what Abe said, if it does connect to the world of Peacemaker and everything else, that'd be interesting because Peacemaker, very different to what the other DCEU is. So to see if Blue Beetle does connect in the same universe and to see interesting how the theme of its character will be and how it does get made with, is it goofy, is it more serious? So I'm really intriguing to where the story is going to take place. But overall, I hope for the best of luck. I have more faith in Blue Beetle, HBO Max, Warner Brothers to have this done well. Then I don't know what the hell Sony type of universe trying to produce because they're failing at it very miserably.
Yeah, they really are. But I'm excited for the Blue Beetle movie. I'm very excited to see Jaime Reyes. I love Jaime as a character. I love his struggle with the Scarab and how he has to like try to fight the Scarab's like impulses. I love that. You already know that Victoria Court is not going to be the only villain. I would assume that we're going to get some other Scarab in the film. I think it would be interesting to get like the Black Beetle. That would be pretty dope. Because the Black Beetle's insanely strong and like very.
And plus the Green
experienced.
Beetle, that'll be
Green Beetle
pretty
too.
interesting if we see the little Martian Manhunter type of that's connection. So that'd be really dope.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see how it is, man. Like with DC, it could really go any way. So we'll see. Moving on to the next piece of news, Clark Gregg has officially joined the cast of Snowpiercer season 4. I'm a huge Snowpiercer fan. I did kind of fall off the series during season 2, where it was just getting a little bit slow for me. But you know me, I like to binge, so I'm definitely gonna get back into it, especially knowing that Clark Gregg is joining for season 4. I love Sean Bean, Daveed Diggs. Like I love the cast, so definitely gonna be getting back into Snowpiercer. I'm gonna binge the whole thing so I can be caught up by season 4. But any of you guys watch Snowpiercer? I know Steve, you do.
Yeah,
I haven't yet. I've been wanting to touch it and
watch list though, but I haven't started it yet.
Same. But I'm happy Clark Gregg is getting back to some work, so that's really dope because I know he took some years off or he's been doing some smaller projects in directing and also producing. So I'm glad to see him back on the screen, and I'm curious to see what else he does back in the MCU because he's been throwing out a lot of stuff of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I'm curious to see if he does come back. Who knows? But I'm just glad overall to see him back doing some work.
You know what kills me though? It's like the fact that Tony will never know that Coulson's still alive. It hurts, honestly, knowing that he'll never know that Coulson's still alive. But Steve, go ahead. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm excited because I want to know what role he's going to play.
Yeah.
Because like I don't feel like he's going to be the villain or a villainous role, so I'm wondering what role is he going to play. And if they do make him a villain, I'm wondering how does he play that antagonistic role? Because I would love to see if he can show that range and do that. But like Snowpiercer, like I got into it last month or a month and a half ago or whatever. I just randomly got on Peacock. I saw the movie was on there, and then I was like, oh, it's a TV show. And then I was like, Daveed Diggs, and you guys know how I feel about Daveed. So I was just like, all right, I'm all in. So I started watching it, and it's really fucking good. I started reading some of the graphic novels. The graphic novels, like basically the way that the TV show is going, is kind of based off of the graphic novels.
Right.
There's 7 different trains that are going around the world. So it's not just the Snowpiercer, which is what everyone originally thought, that was just Snowpiercer. But, you know what I'm saying, there's 7 different trains going around the world, just, waiting for everything to evaporate. And I'm just really interested to see, is he going to be, the captain of another train, or how this is going to go? Because I'm interested to see the other trains as well, because each train is a little more darker or more gritty version of what you thinking is bad on Snowpiercer, and then you go to a different train and you're like, shit.
Right.
So I'm really excited to see what role he's gonna play.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I would love to see him be either an antagonist. I would love to see him in a role similar to David Diggs' character, where he's helping like a revolution on the trains. Like, I would love for either one of those. I love Clark Gregg. He's so charismatic, such a good actor. Can't wait to see what he's gonna do in this show. But yeah, Steve, whenever you start it, like, let us know, because it's a really, really good show. You too, Vash. It's a really, really good show. Especially season
check it out
one,
one
like
day.
it's so well written. Oh my god.
Where's it?
Oh,
Is that
HBO
Netflix?
Max. So it's on. Oh yeah, it's FX, but it's on HBO Max. The
Right.
2 seasons, and then the current season, which was season 3 that just ended, you can catch it like on Hulu or YouTube TV, things like that.
I never heard somebody actually bring up YouTube TV. You're the first person I hear that actually being brought up.
YouTube TV is only $40 a month, and it's
Yeah,
full.
I have it.
And it's
Wow.
full cable. So
Yeah, I mean
was
that's what I used to watch, like The Flash weekly whenever it drops, or any of the other shows if I feel like it. Like, I'll just DVR it on YouTube TV because it is affordable, you know.
Yeah. It's
Oh shit, DVR too? Oh, that's
and
pretty interesting.
You
Shit.
get 4 screens as well, if I'm not mistaken.
You paying $40 to watch The Flash? You invested money to watch the
Other shows too.
I need to watch ESPN.
Right. Don't get me,
that's
dude.
Wow.
I'm so disappointed in The Flash right now. Like, every episode, it's just getting worse.
Yo,
and worse.
James, I haven't even cared to watch it or even talk to you about
It's
it. I'm like
painful,
that.
bro. It's honestly painful.
Man, and y'all were saying the first half was so good, right?
The first 5 episodes, the Armageddon crossover, that was good, and it's just like, well, back to the bullshit, I guess. It's like, well, we're not even a Flash show anymore. It's more of the Iris show and Allegra show and Frost and all of their relationships. I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, why are there 5 different relationships running all at once? Like, I don't care. Anyways, moving into our last piece of news, at the Oscars, Zack Snyder absolutely fucking cleaned up. Both of his films won in both fan categories. Army of the Dead won the fan favorite, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Flash scene, won Best Cheer Moment at the Oscars. And I am kind of surprised that it beat Spider-Man No Way Home, because, I mean, people love that movie way more than Zack Snyder's Justice League, but apparently not. But I thought that was going to win for sure. I would have voted for the Flash moment, but I thought it was going to win for sure. And then when we find out, I'm like, yeah, of course, this is one of the greatest moments in any comic book movie ever.
Look, the fact that the people made Warner Brothers release a Zack Snyder version, despite how badly burned the bridges was between those two, and despite him going to his own platform to talk about his movie and whatnot, the fact that the people got them to be like, all right, you know what, we're going to release it on our streaming platform. So if you have the streaming platform, anybody can watch it. You don't need to go to theater for it. The fact that they did that, I ain't even surprised. The people can make anything happen. The loudest are not always the majority. That's the thing. Like, yes, Spider-Man No Way Home makes so much money. I know. But there's a good amount of people there who also love that. You just don't know it. They could be the same Spider-Man fans, yo, but that
Me.
like, I ain't even surprised. It just shows that the people,
dude, Restore the Snyderverse is the most tweeted hashtag in Twitter's history.
Anytime anything DC related drops, that hashtag starts trending.
Yep.
Wow.
Honestly, they announced Blue Beetle.
Restore the Snyderverse.
I'm like, wait, I was like, wait, what Blue Beetle got to do with this? I was like, oh shit, it was like nothing.
Nah,
It's just people
just
saying like,
restore it.
yo, let's continue to restore it. I'm like, yo, but that has nothing to do with the Blue Beetle news that you guys are currently finding out. So this is why I hate the trending hashtags, because low-key will not find it. There are times where you won't find out why it's actually trending. You won't know nothing. You'll just be like, it's. I don't know the source.
It doesn't matter. We're talking about DC. Restore the Snyderverse. It doesn't matter. Steve, what
They're
about
gonna
you?
say Black Adam was delayed by 2 months. Restore the Snyderverse.
Restore the Snyderverse.
I was surprised about it still though, because like I thought the Avengers Assemble would be the number 1. So I was like, oh, okay, but I wasn't mad at it. Like, I don't think you could have went wrong with any of the ones that were voted, so I didn't have a problem with it at all. But I thought that Avengers Assemble with everybody coming, I thought that would be the most cheer moment. Because when I was in the theater, it got loud. So
it did, but it got played out. It got played out so often on social media and whatnot. Like everybody remixed it and whatnot. To me, it lost.
Because we were waiting for it for a decade.
And
and then it just kind of lost its moment because every time you hop on Twitter, someone's using that meme for a game, for a celebration. Just you see it too much. It's like, all right, let's see something.
That's the reason why I would think that it will win though, because it's oversaturated. But like you said, it could lose its thunder because you're tired of it.
It loses its impact.
And then crazy too, Cinderella actually came in second, still beating No Way Home. Yeah, Cinderella came in second.
I didn't even watch Cinderella. I'm surprised.
I didn't.
I'm actually really surprised that
I didn't even know there was another remake.
With oh god, I hope I don't butcher her name. Camila Cabrera.
Yes, the one on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Cinderella.
This one said he don't know about it, but he know exactly what. All right, Vash.
I was wondering because I was thinking, I was like, the Cinderella from like a couple years ago from Disney.
Yes, but it was like how was that a hype moment, a best moment? I'm like, I just thought that was a regular movie, like a regular. That's it.
Other people vote, not just us. That's all I can say.
But my thoughts about this, dope that it won. But I have to agree with Steve that I thought the Avengers Assemble would have won because when it said hypest moment in theater, I'm like, when did the Zack Snyder movie come out in theater? I thought she was just sent home to HBO Max. So I'm like,
yeah, it was pretty much just best cheer moment of 2021.
Oh, best cheer moment of 2021. Okay.
But see, how is that? Because when did the Avengers Assemble thing happen? That wasn't
like 2019.
Yeah, I need to look at the nominees again because now I'm not sure that Avengers Assemble was on the list because I think it was just 2021. I would have to check.
I saw a meme and it was like the Flash, and then it was Avengers Assemble was 3, and then it was Spider-Man's number 2, which I was just surprised. I was like, why is Avengers Assemble even in there? For the category.
Yeah, I would have to look it up. We would have to talk about it after. I would have to look up the nominations. I can't remember right now. But any other thoughts on the Flash winning best cheer moment?
No, not mad at it.
Still hype. Still great.
Yeah. All right, guys. So it is time. No more wasting time. It is finally the moment to talk about our Moon Knight full spoilers discussion. This was, in my opinion, we're going to go more in depth into this once we're done with the full review, but definitely one of the best first episodes ever in every category. I'm talking cinematography, I'm talking sound design, I'm talking direction, script. Like, this is one of the best. I think WandaVision is up there as well, and we'll get into our picks at the end, but incredible first episode. This episode was directed by Mohamed Diab. It was written by Jeremy Slater. It has an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critic rating at the moment, 95% audience rating. And this is pretty much the soft intro into Stephen Grant, also into Mark Spector, into Moon Knight. This episode does a really good job of just getting you into the world of Moon Knight, and it doesn't expect you to know anything about these characters. That's one thing I love about the Disney Plus shows. You can go in completely blank. You know, it helps if you've seen the MCU movies, but specifically Moon Knight, you don't have to see anything. Just go into the first episode and just enjoy it for what it is, and you'll learn everything that you need to know, because this version of Moon Knight, in terms of how the story is being told, is slightly different from the comics. In the comics, we usually follow Mark, who is the mercenary, who is the avatar of Khonshu. So that's usually the one that we follow, and then we get to experience the other personalities. But I think they made the best choice in one, because in the comics, Steven was a billionaire, and in this, Steven is just this regular guy that works in a gift shop at a museum that has a wealth of knowledge into Egyptian culture and a bunch of other things. There's actually a scene where he's like reading books on Egyptian culture. He has a book on Asgard. He has a book on Wakanda. So this is a guy that's constantly reading books, constantly taking in knowledge. And then he moonlights as a massive vigilante that he has no idea. Like, I love
Nice.
him talking about how he just wakes up and his body feels like it's all, you know, broken up and busted, and he doesn't know what he's doing at night, and all of these different things. So for a TV series, starting with Steven and making him a regular guy, and then having Mark Spector being the other personality that's trying to fight its way out, I love that. It works great for TV. So so Abe, starting with you, what are your like quick general non-spoiler thoughts on the first episode of Moon Knight?
I love the opening sequence. I love the music that played during the opening and closing themes. I enjoyed the perspective that we received, and I enjoyed the memento-like feelings I got.
Yes.
Shout out to Christopher Nolan that I got while watching this, and honestly, Oscar has range.
Facts,
he has
dog.
range. When I first heard him speak, it threw me off. I was like, "Nah, this ain't the same. Nah, this ain't the same." Does this? Is this his true voice? Because I've never actually heard him speak outside of acting.
Really?
I've never listened to an interview or anything.
Really?
So
Like, I don't really
the
know
Mark
his
voice is his real voice.
Okay, I'm just like, bro, this guy. But it felt so believable, and I was like, I actually, I can see it fitting. It doesn't fit in my head, but it actually does fit at the same time. This one, I've always said Loki was my favorite, and at the moment it still is. But I also said this before: if there's going to be one to surpass it, it will be Moon Knight. And right now, it's already setting up the groundwork to be like, yeah, Loki, I fuck with you and everything that you meant. Y'all remember how excited I was during Loki. Y'all know how hype I was every motherfucking episode during Loki. But Moon Knight could take number one. We're gonna see. We got 5 more episodes to find out. We're gonna see.
Yeah, and I've heard episode 4 is insane. Like, that's all anyone talks about. Steve, what about you? Quick general thoughts on Moon Knight episode 1.
I loved it. Obviously, my opinion, I think that they didn't make Steven a billionaire because of the Batman comparison.
Yeah.
That's my main thing, that I feel like that's why they didn't do it. But I loved it. I like the dynamic of them following Steven instead of following Mark, and him trying to break out, and him being an architect. I mean, not an architect. Archaeologist in a sense, like of just knowing everything and just knowing all type of different Wakanda and stuff, and studying the different lands and everything, landscapes and everything. I just think that that's really going to be a good key point for the series to build off of, just because it feels like you can tie other characters if you would like to, because of all his knowledge that he has, which, I mean, with the way that his mind works, we could find ourselves in these different areas. Never know. Because I saw some Atlantis stuff. You know, like there's a lot of stuff you can theorize on here. So, but yeah, I'm excited just because of us reading that 2016 run right before the show. It changes everything that you're watching right now.
Yeah.
So if you didn't read that 2016 run, I mean, it's cool you going in blind, but us, or me at least, I was like, okay, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, the 2021 run is also enjoyable too. So
God, so good.
we hyping up, you know, I hype up 2021, but 2016 is crazy. And that tells you like, yo, you got 2 places you can start off with and just hit the ground running, and you're gonna enjoy it. Because again, I came into this one blind. I didn't know anything about Moon Knight until they announced it, and the first thing that really drew the character to me was he suffers from multiple personalities, and this is a chance to really explore this side of mental health, right? And Disney has been doing a good job, in my opinion, with all of their shows, and really hitting some important topics. We've discussed it, WandaVision, talking about the stages of grief, you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier. We all know what that was about. You know, like it's very clear as day what that was about. Even Loki, how many times did I use the word of humbling and saying
Mhm.
that it's a mirror into one's ego, into oneself? You know, now you have Moon Knight that is going to explore this side of mental health and in a way that is not to ridicule or to make fun, but to really capture what what it's all about, to help you sympathize, help you understand, to help you gain a perspective. I'm super excited. Like, yes, I nerd out because of the lore and all that stuff, but I also nerd out because of the real world applications and the impact that these shows can have on people, especially in this day and age. So I'm super excited. You know, this shit did not disappoint episode 1 at all.
So I wanna pick it back to what you just said, it because I agree 100%. But I already have seen a couple people on the timeline. I'm not sure if there are Marvel fans or comic book fans or not, but these are, of course, it's always stupid comments. People always want to find the whole left wing because people said that how are you going to make some type of superhero trying to project some type of mental illness? I'm like, you guys are seeing the whole negative side of this. Like, you're not seeing the positive side that the show's actually
It's a
trying
part
to
of the
bring and
comics.
show. Like, it's part of his character, showing that how can you break down a character that has mental illness and how he could actually understand himself as a character. So I just can't wait to see the next couple of weeks with the series and how people that don't understand comics or don't understand character driven story to see how they're gonna find the wrong about this. But how, like myself, like Abe and like Steve and James said, I don't know much about Moon Knight other than the cartoons and the small runs I read in the comics years ago. But I haven't read the 2016 version yet. I haven't read the 2020 or 2021 version yet. But I've heard great things about them. And I'm happy to not know much about this character because I know very few characters in comics that I don't know much about that's from Marvel and DC. And to see a character like Moon Knight that I know the average goer from comics cartoons to actually see it adapted and to see like a different interpretation and how well Oscar Isaac did, and also in this episode, the sound mixing, the editing's done so well to see.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about production. There's a lot of
So
great shit in there.
so like James just brought up production. I work in production, and to see it done well, to see how much they put effort, even though there's a couple of scenes of CG, but that's a whole different conversation. But overall, as a first episode, it really hooked me in. It reminded me a bit of Daredevil, with a mix of WandaVision and plus Falcon Winter Soldier, of how much they put their time and plus the dedication with storytelling and with the production overall. So I just enjoyed this episode and how well it did. Can't wait to see the next 5 episodes because I think it's 6 episodes, right? Or is
Yeah.
there only more?
6.
All right, so I can't wait to see what 6 episodes bring of story of this character and how they're gonna introduce the Midnight Suns. And sadly, I don't know how the fuck they're gonna introduce other characters because Morbius is part of this as one of the comics. But knowing
It's a
Sony,
shifting roster. You don't have to include
Yeah.
Morbius.
I'm
We have Blade.
I'm
You got Blade and Black Knight.
Don't mention Morbius anymore. It's triggering
Don't
now.
ruin this Moon Knight.
No, I know, Abe. I'm sorry, but still, like, it would be dope to see
we
the
don't need to.
Morbius
Morbius
character
can be,
Dracula,
no,
like in the
no,
comics, man.
no.
It'd be dope to see that.
We can
It
still
would be.
get Dracula.
I mean, I was just gonna say you can still get Dracula.
Yeah, we don't need Morbius now. Let Sony
Man,
keep
I'm just
him.
saying
Let him,
it would
let
be
them-
hype,
don't need
but
him.
sadly we won't. So that's all.
Don't even mention. Don't even put it in your head. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. Are you a masochist?
I know I am. I know I
Are you a
am.
masochist? Are you a
Probably.
masochist?
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm asking you a genuine question. If you don't want to answer, just say you don't feel comfortable answering on air. Just let us know.
Anyway, James, let's go
But
next
yeah.
question because overall thoughts.
But yeah, Lily, I agree. Like they did a really good job. Like, and this is just we're just seeing one personality here. They did a really good job. Oscar Isaac specifically did a really good job of DID. Like we'll get into these things specifically, but just to mention real quick, like when he's in that chase sequence and when he's switching between Mark and Steven, and he's like, "Whoa, what the fuck am I doing? What's happening to me? What's happening here?" Like there's so many of those incredible moments, and that's something that we're gonna talk about extensively. But Let's talk about the production quality real quick, and we'll kind of just go around, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on the production value as a whole. So we'll talk about like set design, talk about the score, the editing, the cinematography, the types of camera work, all together. So Steve, starting with you, like out of all of these different things, like what were some of your favorite aspects of the production quality of the show?
The freaking like I guess night stutters or whatever when he's switching from personalities, I guess, and he's having a
So
quick flash.
good.
Those are really fucking good. Like it's so quick, and then like when he comes to, and his like the look on Oscar Isaac's face as he's realizing like what the fuck is going on. Like that whole thing, that whole like little change every time they have those little like I guess stutters or whatever they want to call them, those switches are really really well done. Another thing that I really really enjoyed was just the camera, the way the camera is moving with the jackal towards the end, and you're watching Oscar Isaac, and then as he's running he keeps holding his arm, and they play with it and they just follow the jackal. Both like the main focus seems like is on Oscar Isaac, but you're just watching the jackal the entire scene, and I like that little the way that the camera panels went for that.
Abe, thoughts on like the overall production quality?
Yeah, first of all, production quality fire, but I want to take this time to give these people their flowers, and that is the makeups and effects crew, because the way that you captured just Oscar's just fatigue, his just the wear and tear on his face, even when he woke up and his jaw was dislocated, everything about that was just so perfect. I felt it. I was watching. I'm like, damn, man, I'm tired too. I'm like, ooh, this man is.
That looked painful.
Yeah, he's going. Oh my god, when this man get sleep? Like this man clearly hasn't slept yet. It made everything about the episode so believable, and it's so funny because I've never really paid too much attention to makeup and effects like that. But in this one, for some reason, it just stood out to me. A great job, and with production too. Yeah. When he had the episodes that Steve was referring to, it hit. And then also the use of color, the whole lighting, and the absence of lighting too made everything so dope. Especially that elevator scene. Everything about the elevator scene was so worthwhile to me. And then hey, I know this may not have been intentional, but I'm gonna refer to this in this particular way, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And then the final destination moment that we had in there, that's all I have to say. And you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. I appreciated that shit. That shit, I just immediately got final destination. I said, yo, this is how it's going to turn out for some of y'all. And what happened is exactly how it turned out for some of them. Shit was fire.
Vash, what about you? Thoughts on the production quality?
I could go in details and I could go long because James knows how much I love production, how much I am in detail to shit, and I work. And like Abe, I didn't pay attention too much in makeup as well before I started working production. Like I noticed if I'm girl looks nice, a guy you could tell, and also when it's done, when the person gets beat up, all the blood and everything. But now working production, and now with what happened with the Oscars, no, not about the slap guys, but about how some of the categories got taken out from live television, and how about the makeup, some stuff that are important, and how make stuff real on screen got taken out. So like Abe just said, I gotta give props to it because it looks so well. Like when Boy woke up and his jaw was broken, like I thought, like my mind thought, oh, that shit looks real. That shit looks painful. I'm like, he looks like he just got beat up, and like from us, we assumed that he probably jumped out from that tall-ass building to the ground, and that's why he woke up back to Steven. So I'm like, that makes sense. Because Mark literally got knocked out unconscious then. That's what most likely happened. And this is so well done. The sound mixing and editing, just to show how they switch to the character, to the personalities, is done so well. I cannot imagine how many times but the director, the post-production of how much they spoke about this to actually get it done right. And I feel like they did such a good job. I can't wait to see other versions and how they come up with it. So overall, the and plus the lighting done so good with how it shows that scene with that scene in the elevator when our boy, I forgot how you pronounce his name, the mummy.
Conchu.
Yeah, Conchu. Thank you. He looked like he was about to come inside the elevator, and then the
Let me
old
bring up
lady
that
comes
image,
in.
by the way, because I did want to have this image of Conchu in this hallway. This sequence, it, like you guys already said, the lighting's incredible, the design of Conchu, like everything of this, like it just brings in all of the horror elements. Absolutely gorgeous sequence.
And look so well editing for that scene because it showed like nobody there, and then somebody there, and then nobody there, and then somebody there. And then we thought, oh shit, he's about to confront him, and no, the old lady comes in, and then like, and our boy Oscar Isaac goes like, oh, I'm trying to find my contacts, but it shows that with him being all awkward and everything, even the lady felt like girl was scared, like so it showed all the tension of the character, the body language was done so well too. I gotta give props to the acting, to the people, and for the set designs, because I was trying to tell if the museum was real, that they actually filming a museum, or was that set design? Because I was trying to figure that shit out. I'm like, wait, is this museum actually a real place over there in London?
Museum, yeah.
But then once I saw of how many rooms, and then the wide shot, and then the cars being outside, I'm like, okay, that's a real museum. So this looks very well done. Curious to see how long we're gonna see the museum, but overall, very well done first episode. To me, the whole production value, they put the effort, except the CG a couple spots. But at the end of the day, from what Sam told me and from what I did my own research, they just actually had this episode ready the day of that Wednesday. So I get it, but I wish Marvel will stop trying to pressure the release dates, and will actually have it ready to release instead of trying to rush it. That's my only opinion about it. Because not saying that I was bothered, with the whole CG and didn't take me out, but if you have a good show, have it ready when you're ready, not just try to have it rush and have it ready on that Wednesday, and knowing that you have a couple of CG scenes still not look perfect when you're a multi-billion-dollar company like Marvel and you have a couple of scenes not looking perfect on your release date. That kind of looks wrong on you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, dude. Like, that was probably, like, my one, like, if I had to, like, put in, like, a really small negative, it's just one scene, where that Final Destination type sequence, where it's just, like, the logs are falling, the truck flips, and it's, like, the physics are off, the CGI looks, it's pretty bad, it's not finished, but it was just in that one spot, and it goes by pretty quickly, and everything else is really good, like you already mentioned, Vash, the set design, like, the museum, the lighting of the museum, all of the different rooms that they shot in, it's an incredible, like, set, like, his room is a great set, like, all of the set design in this episode is great.
Ooh. Did you guys notice the head on fire inside the elevator outside? There's like, I think there's like a poster. So not sure if that was an Easter egg for Ghost Rider, but that was pretty dope though.
I would have to go back and look. I didn't see it. Yeah, but I'm gonna go.
Yeah, that was in the elevator scene. That was when the lights were turning on and off, and right down the wall there's a poster with a head on fire, black suit, and those spikes.
That stood out to me. I was like, "What is that?" For some reason, I thought of Resident Evil. I was like, "What is that?
Nah, but that's Ghost Rider to me. I'm like,
thing?
Boy, look like Ghost Rider there.
If that's Ghost Rider, look. I'll tell you this.
Midnight Suns.
My favorite thing about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was them bringing in
that episode. That Gabriel season Luna, was amazing.
Yeah, he was. They need to bring back Gabriel Luna.
Yes, they should. He was good. Like, that's the one thing I hope they bring him back for.
We need Ray as Ghost Rider. That shit was perfect. So if they do, please, I beg you, right now.
And also, I know I'm in the minority, but bring back Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. That would be a great
we can move on to the next topic, please.
But yeah, like I was saying, like the score is really good in this episode, especially during the final minutes of the episode, and especially during the end credit scene, which I think Moon Knight has hands down the best end credit scene fucking
credit scene?
the ending sequence. I'm sorry, not
Oh,
like
okay, about to say, like,
I was about to say, whoa.
sorry.
Right?
Let me pause my video for a minute.
Just
Hold up,
the
Steve.
ending
I'll be
sequence,
right
I
back.
think it's absolutely fucking incredible. It's the best end sequence we've seen from these Disney Plus shows. And getting back into the editing, I love, like you guys already alluded to, I love the transitions between personalities. I love that the director decided that, no, we are going to stay with Steven. The audience is going to be with Steven, and we don't know what's happening when he blacks out. Right, we're blacking out the same as Steven, and we're waking back up the moment that Steven wakes back up, right? So I like that. I like that we don't know what Mark is doing, and I actually hope that in a future episode we kind of see everything from Mark's perspective and only his perspective. I think that would be really, really cool.
Who's to say that it's only been flashing to Mark every time?
True, very true.
That's
We don't know.
That's what I was thinking.
The question about that. As we know in the comics, I think he has 4 or 5 personalities, right? Mm-hmm. In the show, right now, we only know of 2, which is Mark and Steven. Do you think we're going to see a 3rd or 4th one, or do you think we're going to stick with 2 in the show for now?
No, there's no way you can do, you can't just do 2. If you're going to do Moon Knight the right way, I think that you have to do multiple. And the reason why I definitely believe that we'll get another personality is because when he's talking to the girl that wants a date, she hears the English accent clearly. So if she was talking to Mark, there's no English accent.
I mean, but here's my only argument to that is, much like replacing the goldfish, I think Mark is doing stuff to make Steven feel more comfortable, right? All of those postcards that are from his mom, I think mom's dead or mom doesn't, like, well, obviously there's a mother.
She can't exist.
But I think mom is dead, right? And I think Mark is sending him postcards to keep him, like, stable, right? Just like how Mark puts him back into bed, makes him feel safe. He replaces the goldfish, right? I think Mark is also trying to get him a date because he knows Steven has never been on a date. So I think he plays it off with the English accent because, again, he's a mercenary. This is a guy that travels the world, so he has to put on different accents, different clothes for espionage purposes. So I think it's all Mark putting on face to help Steven. You know what I mean? But
fair enough.
So here's my thing. So I agree that we will see more. But I also really fuck with what Steve had mentioned earlier in the sense of, who's to say we haven't seen 3 today in episode 1 already, Because they might do it where they keep things hidden. Whereas, like, we might deal exclusively with Steve and Mark, but there's a lot of things that we made attribute to them that's like, nah. You thought that Steve or Mark did this. No, that was the actions of another person that you could bring into the next episode.
Hey, that is true. If the security guard kept calling him a different name.
Scotty kept calling him Scotty.
I mean, so that one's reaching for me. That's reaching for me. The security guard is just a douchebag, and he knows that Steven's name begins with an S, and he just thinks of Scotty.
But I'm personally thinking, like, there might be a situation where one of those, when he came back, we thought, like, oh, that's Mark moving. That might not have been Mark. But we won't confirmed that. And I fuck with that, Steve. I fuck with that idea so much more because it keeps things so open-ended. And it keeps the mystery just going. And it makes you want to be like, all right, when you drop that plot twist in what would be a season 2 or in the movie, you're just like, oh, shit. That makes you want to go back and be like, yo, which one was it? Who was who?
Before we dive into the episode, the way that I think this is going to play out, we're going to watch these events again next episode, but from a different personality. And then episode 3, we'll watch it from a different personality. And then episode 4, which JB has said everybody's hype about, is when we see him in costume after he just beat the shit out of the Jackal. And he goes.
That's where we see Mark. Episode 4.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
So I love that. I don't want it to be the whole episode though. I would love for it to like be the beginning where we kind of like get flashes from Mark's perspective, but like for it to be the whole episode, just the first episode over again from Mark's perspective, because it's only 6 episodes, there's really not much you can do with the narrative if you do that for like 3 episodes. But I could be wrong, right? We don't know.
Think about this. We missed 2 days because
that's
he
true.
said it's Friday, and she said it is Sunday.
Nah, Sunday,
so
bro.
I think we can get 2 more days.
That's true.
There's a lot
Here's the thing
get.
too. Here's another idea too that still plays off that. What if it's like, all right, next episode we still follow Steve as we do, but he's not switching with Mark anymore. He's switching with somebody else, and that keeps it focused on Steve. And then the next episode is him, is Steve, and then someone else. And then episode 4, you give us the whole chaotic like. Who we gonna get this time? Who you gonna follow? That one works better than replaying the same day over and over, kind of drawn. Especially with it's like we kind of know the beginning and the end, and we know bits and pieces. Now you're giving it to us 2 more times, where you're adding more pieces. It gets a little redundant. You can get away with it, but it can get a little redundant.
Think about.
So the way I see it that you guys are talking about is the way I saw. Is the way we all saw. Is the way we all saw the movie about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So of how we each saw a different version of Peter Parker and then Peter B. Parker and Gwen Stacy, how we each saw their own type of how they got into the universe. So it's the same thing of how Mark, Steven, of how we see a bit of their own version of, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's a bit of that. Like we don't see each perspective, but we see a bit of what's going on each day of their own end. Is that what you mean?
We still have Friday. We still have Saturday. And then if you check the call log for us readers, we know that it did say, what was it, Lily? Or
Laylee, I think.
Layla.
But there was
Layla.
Layla. But there was a Dechamp right there.
Jean-Pierre Ducamp.
We all know who that is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
there's this flight attendant.
Jean-Claude Duchamp? That's not a flight attendant. That's like
he's a partner of Mark Spector in the comics.
Yeah. So that could be like I don't know why, but I feel like the next episode, instead of us picking up where we left off, and I could be wrong. I don't think we're picking up where we left off. I think we're going back to a different personality, and we're going to get other perspectives.
I'm with you. I just don't want it to be the whole episode. That's my whole thing.
Because even at the end of this episode, like he walks away from Ethan Hawke, and he locks away for like 2 seconds, and then he's back in the museum, and there's a jackal chasing him. There's some time. I don't think you change scenes for him to be back in the museum in like less than a minute. There's something that happened.
Time lapses,
there's a time lapse, and I feel like I think that these next episodes are going to be different personalities.
Something else that I really like about how this show is written is, and I'll quote Ethan Hawke here. He was in an interview, and he described Steven as an unreliable narrator. And you can see this all throughout the film, where it's like, we don't really know if the things that Mark is saying, is the things that Steven is saying, are even fucking real. We don't know if it's true, right? Another cast member, the actress that's going to be playing Layla, she was talking about how this show is like Fight Club and I forgot what the other movie she compared it to, but it's Fight Club and something else. And it's like, well, in Fight Club, Tyler Durden was constantly on this path of not knowing what the other personality was doing. He wasn't aware of it at all. And it's like, it's the entire movie is just ambiguity. What's real? Did he actually have these conversations? Was he actually in this location? Did he actually do this? We have no idea what Mark is saying or doing is even real, even to the audience. We could just be seeing illusions in his mind. We have no idea what the fuck's happening. So I do love the ambiguity in this episode, and especially with like how like the camera work and the cinematography uses reflections, especially like the reflection in like the puddle where he's talking to like the golden like statue guy. I'm gonna bring that up real quick, and it's like it's this mirror image, and as Steven is walking away, we see this leaf fall into the water, but it lands in the reflections perspective. So it's like, okay, we're not really looking at like, it's almost like it's a visual representation of the audience not looking at events that are actually happening. I love the ambiguity. It's crazy that we have no idea what's actually happening.
And the comment was Flight Club meets Indiana Jones.
Right, yes.
I got you.
Yeah, so I absolutely love that. Thank you for that. So let's get into the character breakdowns itself. We're going to talk about Oscar Isaac as Steven. We're going to talk about, we didn't see Mark that much, but we're going to talk about everything that Oscar Isaac put into his character. We're going to talk about Ethan Hawke's character, and then we're going to get into favorite moments. So Abe, starting with you, let me get some of your favorite moments, some of your favorite aspects of how Oscar Isaac plays Steven, Mark, how he interacts with Khonshu, all that stuff.
Okay, so one, I did like how our first episode of Mark taking over and then us getting back to Steve was hearing Kushnu talk. And it's just like out of nowhere, it's just like, yo, wait, what? It's just like, wait, hold on, what is this voice? I'm like, this is not Mark's voice. we hearing him now. Him. Oh, okay, all right, cool. This early. Oh, okay, bet. And then I appreciated that. Also, the scene where he encounters Ethan Hawke's character and over the scarab, and just how real it looked like that struggle was. And Kushner was like, nah, boy, what I say? You better not give it to him.
I was laughing about that.
Give him the scarab and I'll kill you both.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm trying to give it to you, but it won't.
And that whole interaction, even during this chase, it's just like, he's like, did the idiot throw the gun? Bro, I started laughing. Ain't no way. Ain't no motherfucking way. This dude was like, did that idiot just throw the gun? How can you say that with a straight face, bro? That man was upset. He was like, I don't know what to do. Everything was just so realistic and so enjoyable. Like, you see how we're just laughing and enjoying ourselves because the shit just hit. And so basically every time we get that switch, I thought Oscar did a great job of really portraying the difference between each character, between how just kind of meek and like low self-esteem-ish as Steven is, and then how when we do get those rare moments of Mark, how Mark is more assertive and different. But even when we don't, we just know the flashback. It's just like, something happened. Something that he's not used to. His hands are all of a sudden bloody. Like, we know, look at his stance. Like, that's not Steven that did that. It's like, yo, Mark is really showing out. And Oscar does a great job, but Steven's still like, what? But still showing that it's awkward. Like, right. It's natural, but it's not, So I appreciated Oscar just, like I said, when I went into the group chat and said, Oscar has range? What the fuck?
Agreed.
I said that 5 minutes into the show. I said that 5 minutes into my first watch of the show. That's what I said.
Really?
Oscar has by the range. End? What the? No, I said that in the first impressive. 5 minutes. I was like, bro, what? Yeah, this man got range. This man got range, bro.
Yeah, dude, he can literally do anything. Like, The Card Counter is not a good movie, but his performance in that movie is fucking incredible. Like, he's so, like, magnetic, dude. Oh, my God.
What I was going to bring up is that my favorite line of both Steven and Kentaku when he said, damn, the idiot has taken over. I'm like, wait, what? So they classify as him as the idiot version?
The idiot,
and that's just
Parasite, the worm.
Yes.
Khonshu has like, no chill, bro.
Bro, he don't give a fuck about Steven. He only cares about Mark.
The idiot's in control.
Yes. And I was like, yo, he gives no fuck about Steven.
The gun? Did the idiot throw the
Yo, the commentary of him about Steven is hilarious. He's like, no. And then what got me laughing is when he said, like, you have to give him back to Mark if you want to live. If not, I will kill you guys both if you give him the scarab. I was like, yeah, he don't give a fuck because he literally said, I'll kill y'all both.
So and that line, real quick. So that line confused me. Why wouldn't Khonshu reference all of the personalities? Because if he kills one of them, they all die. So why wouldn't Khonshu reference all of the personalities? Why did he only reference two?
I think that
I'm probably reaching, but
so my guess, it was more for the writing to not spoil us, but at the same time, it was meant to be ambiguous. So like just saying that these are the two characters we know right
who's
now.
active right now? Okay.
Yeah, he's active. Like those are the two that are actively awake in and out. Because, and also I gotta give props. Mark, he's a good mercenary because how the fuck are you driving down it backwards and also you're
Right.
killing at the same time? I'm like, when he woke up and when he was driving backwards, I'm like, bro, I just learned how to drive backwards good a year ago, and I've been driving for 8 years.
And I love that the gunshot
Hey,
is
yeah,
what
listen.
wakes Steve up.
I feel so old.
Like you hear the gunshot, and that's when it switches back to Steve, and he's like, "Whoa, what the fuck is this?"
Yes. So it showed so well. Like, and Mark, the way I love how a lot of people online and a lot of people was bothered by how Steven had the accent. But if it fits for his character and it fits for us, the audience, to tell who is who, like,
Right.
which is Mark, which is Steven. So it shows that, yes, Mark, he can
And
act more
he's
serious.
in England, like
Exactly. So, like, have you not met Tom Holland, and plus Hiddleston and other British characters? They have their American accent where they have no accent, and they have their home accent where they have British.
Yo, LS,
with an accent.
LS, whenever you see the episode, let us know like what part of England that accent is from. Like
yes, that'd be interesting.
I have no idea. I if I had to guess, I have no idea. If I had to guess, it's like East London accent type shit. But please, you would know. Please tell me once you hear it, because I think it's good. He talked about talking to Disney, and Disney was like, "We're not sure about this accent." I'm like, "But it's good though. It's really good. He's not like phoning it in. It's a really good accent. Like I don't get what the problem was, but I'm glad he stuck with it."
Yeah, like overall, I enjoy Mark and plus Steven interaction, but the most is just hilarious throughout the whole time with Kentaku trying to speak to him and try to guide him, like, yo, do not give him the scare and everything. And I felt bad for Steven at the moment where he just woke up jaw broken trying to figure out where was he, and him saying like, yo, I'm just trying to go home. I work in a museum, I work in a shop, I don't know what's going on. He had the scare. And boy was trying to like, hey, you can have it, but my body don't want to give it to you. Hey, like, here you go. And I felt so bad for his character because he was so lost in what's going on. But he did such a good job, Oscar Isaac, to show us, the audience, by how lost he was. And then showing Mark that we, the audience, didn't know. But he did such a good job at killing people because everyone was like, yo, he just killed like 5-6 people. Should we stop him? People tried.
Like, we're talking about that, just the opening scene, correct? Right? Or,
Just all of Oscar Isaac in all of his like.
Oscar Isaac really did a really good job, and I'm glad that we got a redemption from that apocalypse that we got from him.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I totally forgot about that. Wow, shit.
But I don't think that's
Come again?
He was Apocalypse in that X-Men movie.
You shouldn't have.
Well, Steve, those are not canon no
Abe,
more.
you didn't know?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh my, yeah, dude, he's Apocalypse.
That's his redemption. Everybody that goes to Marvel gets their redemption. It's like,
it's the writing, dude. Like, not even Oscar Isaac could say the terrible writing. But continue, Steve.
But I just, the emotion that he shows, even the best, one of the best scenes that I really love from Oscar Isaac is when he's at the steakhouse and he finds out that it's Sunday, not Friday. And then
how do you not check your phone, my G? Like, how do you not even
Right.
like? You woke up, went to the goldfish place. You'd be like, "Hey, what time is it?" Like, shouldn't you ask what day is it before you ask time? Like, dude, like you have a flip phone at least or something. Like it will tell you Friday, June 29th. No, it's Sunday, June 29th. Oh,
but not even that. It's the emotion that he plays when he's like, "I'll just take a steak."
Yeah, I felt the pain. That was rough.
You can feel it. And he was like, "I'll just take a steak." They're like, "What?" And
yeah, you know what kind?
Yeah,
like rare,
the best
you know,
bits.
medium.
Just the best bits.
And he can't even tell you what kind of steak he wants because he's vegan. So he's like, I just want the best one. He's like,
just the best bits of it. Yeah.
Boy was so sad. Like
the only thing that made me mad about this scene was he asked how it was cooked, And then he was like, the best way. And the waiter said, well.
Yeah, fuck that waiter, bro. Fuck that waiter.
I could have beat his
Well
ass.
done. What?
I knew you guys would have been mad. I'm like, I've done well done, but it's not horrible.
Well done is god awful compared to how it's supposed to be cooked. You're wasting the meat. You spent $30 for a steak. You wasted your money. There's no way you can actually taste the steak if it's well done. You can't taste it.
Fillet.
A well done fillet. What? It's dry as shit.
Here's how I like my steaks. Everybody's how I like my steaks. When I get my plate, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to look at my plate. I want to be able to bring my ear to my plate. And I want to hear a death cry.
Oh my God, bro.
This cow that I'm about to eat. I want to hear it say,
Dude, getting a steak well done, my steak is done. You might as well eat 5 Popeye's biscuits with no drink.
Light type of person.
It's just it's dry nonsense. No. Why would you do that?
A Popeye's biscuit with a piece of Thanksgiving turkey.
Okay.
That's deep froze.
You put the turkey. You put the turkey in between the Popeye biscuit, and you just eat it.
Yo, Mia said I wouldn't feed that to our dog.
Yeah, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of everything. Why would you do that? A well done steak? Are you out of your mind? No, it's a waste of money.
Fillet. Oh my! The fillet is the best cut, and then you well done it. The waiter should be stoned to death.
You're right. He should be stoned and flogged.
And plus, to answer your scene that you brought up, I just felt Oscar Isaac, his performance, like he was so sad. Like he was questioning life. He was like, "Yo, what the fuck happened to my life? 2 days just gone by." No. Like I felt bad for his body language. Like he shows so well. He's just like, yeah, best parts. But he was just questioning, like, "Yo, what's going on?" Like I felt bad for his character, but it portrayed so well. Because I felt bad for him, his anxiety. Like, yo, I cannot imagine how his anxiety was going through this shit. Because me just seeing him, like
not even that. He didn't even believe the girl. He just thought she stood him up. Because he was
right.
Ain't no fucking
he asked
way.
Him 3 times.
So
like,
let me ask somebody else. Let me ask other people around me what day it is. Because there's no way. Like, he didn't even believe her. He was like, no fucking way. I'm not missing a date with.
It's like the fish is wrong, the date's wrong. No, you're wrong, buddy.
Bro, no way. Bro,
like, you're the one that fuck up.
When Dibs, by the way, on Indian lady.
Damn, yeah. She's bad as fuck, bro.
Bro, when she asked him on the date, I was like, let me get on IMDb and find out what.
So we all agreed that it wasn't Mark or Steven to ask her out, right?
Well, I think it was Mark.
Okay,
until proven otherwise, I think it was Mark looking out for Steven.
Okay, copy.
I don't think it was either one.
Same here. So me and Steve in the same boat. Abe, what are you gonna say on this?
I don't know. I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah, I don't think it's Mark or Steven. I think there's another personality. Maybe I don't know what personalities they're going to use, if they're using different names or anything like that. So whatever. But we can assume that there's a Scotty, I guess, because of, you know what I'm saying, the other was it the cop or whatever, the guy that was at the doorway that kept calling him fucking Scotty?
The security guy?
The security guy, yeah. So
JB?
It could be Scotty. Asshole. But I think there's was it another one? I can't even remember all the different personalities because and especially with the fact that they fucked Steven's character in different ways, because like in the 2016 run we just read, he's like a fucking producer, director.
Right.
So like, you know what I'm saying? So, and all the scenes that happen, he's kind of just says cut before it.
I mean, hold on.
Steven, you haven't read?
Steven is still a director. He's just director of child products here, okay? His job at the museum.
And he's proud of it too.
He sells these products to the children who visit. He's still a director now. Let's not, diss his title or anything, just because he ain't the director we're used to don't mean he ain't important now.
I mean,
right?
but he's a playboy billionaire in like the.
I mean, look.
The 83.
Mark doing what he can to make him a playboy. Even people like surprised. Oh, she trying to holler at you.
Not in
like,
that fucking department.
Hey, look. Don't hate on my man Steve, bro. Don't hate on my man Steve.
Hey, Steve is that dude, right. I was really surprised that they changed him to the idiot personality. So that's another reason why I feel like we're going to get different personalities too, because
Jake is one of the other personalities. We'll get to see Mr. Knight, which is more of a Moon Knight.
Mr. Knight is Moon
personality. But Jake's a cab driver. I think that would be interesting for Steven to just wake up and he's just driving someone in a fucking cab. I think that would be hilarious. And Lily, thank you for correcting us. With DID, we should be using alter, not different personality. Thank you for that correction. I want to make sure we're using the correct terms when we're talking about this.
Also, and James, you did bring up when he was driving the truck, he also said he doesn't know how to drive. So Mark is the one that knows how to drive. And Steven,
he's like, I don't even have my license.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit, Mark. I think so I assume that he knew how to drive.
To flip the car around. If they do the cab driver route.
That would be interesting.
Why not Mark though? Because Mark's the mercenary. He's the one that would be in chase sequences all the time.
The reason why I don't feel like all of those scenes are technically Mark, because even with the blood, like Mark has on gloves, so when he comes back, his hand is covered in blood. There's no, but I could be reaching.
We don't know, right? We'll see. Like, that's one of the best parts of the show. Like, we really don't know what's going on. Like, something else that I like that's pretty ambiguous is like when Steven was talking about the poster of Iniad and talking about how the poster only had 7 of the Egyptian deities and there's 9.
And not 9. Yeah.
That same sequence I was talking about where he was reading that book that also has like the Asgardian book and the Wakandan book. That book that he was reading on Egyptian culture, the list of Egyptian gods is in a completely different order than it's supposed to be. Like, it's different from the poster. So nothing's right? The book's not right. The poster's not right. So we don't know what's going on. We don't know, like what real reality we're actually looking at. Like, I love the ambiguity.
And by the way, the other 2 deities would be Anubis and the alligator that Ethan Hawke is worshiping. That's what I would think the other 2 deities would be. So I think that's the reason why they're not in the book, is because they quote unquote lie with someone else, if that counts.
Yeah. I don't
know.
You
just never know. And plus what James brought up, I'm very happy to see the Black Panther is finally connecting into mythos that more than just Wakanda.
Right.
That like we're seeing more of the mythos. So I hope we see more of that, because in the comics, I love how they expand with the mythos of the Egyptian goddess and with the Black Panther, with everything else intertwined. And I can't wait to see that, hopefully inside Moon Knight. And then if it does connect to Black Panther 2, who knows what happens, but I'm hoping to see more of that, because this will be an interesting storytelling of that aspect with the character within the MCU.
Yeah, I love that there's books on Wakandan culture. I love that from the ending of Black Panther, we're actually seeing the progress of Wakanda spreading itself out into the rest of the world. Something else that I really like about about Steven's character is, much like Peacemaker, he's in like this weird headspace where he only really talks to things and that can't really talk back, right? Like the golden statue guy, the fish. He calls his mom and leaves her voicemails, but she never calls back. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a lot of weird symbolism that I really, really enjoy in what they're exploring. It's really cool.
I agree. I honestly and truthfully believe that he just believes he's calling his mom.
Yeah.
I'm kind of under the belief that Mark is actually the owner of the body, because that's how it is in most comics.
And I agree.
They just started the perspective from Steven. But I think Mark is still like the main personality of the body. So whenever Steven gets it, he just thinks, oh, I'm going to call my mom. And I'm really
curious to see how the MCU version of this character Moon Knight will be very different, because from what we know, like Mark is the original. So I'm curious to see how Mark, when he died, he got the other alter versions. So I'm curious to see, are we gonna see that in the flashback, or are we just not gonna show that? So I'm really excited for this. Like, I'm actually knowing about Wanda, knowing about Vision, knowing about Falcon Winter Soldier characters from the comics. We knew where they were gonna go. With Loki, it was very different because they haven't done that, that type of story in the comics. So seeing this type of character, Moon Knight, and seeing how is it gonna be very different makes me very excited, and I'm very thrilled about that.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Oscar Isaac's character before we move on to Ethan Hawke?
Good.
All right, so let's.
Kevin Bacon.
Yes. so let's move on to Ethan Hawke's character. Now, the character that he's playing, Arthur Harrow. Now, this character doesn't have much life in the comics, right? We don't see him that often. So getting to see him on this show, this is a brand new interpretation, and he is essentially a preacher preaching the word of Amit, right? And I love that opening sequence where we see him crushing the glass, and talk about incredible like camera framing with just him with his hands on the desk. But yeah, he puts crushed glass into his slippers, and we know the kind of fanatic that this guy is to Amit. We instantly know the thing. And then he never mentions this to anyone. So him stepping on this glass is for his faith. It's not for anyone else. It's not to prove anything to anyone else. He really believes in this faith. And when he's doing the judgment later on in the episode, we also notice that he and his followers are trying to bring Amit bring Amit back to life, right?
Yep.
So I don't know if that's going to be concluded in this season, but it's very interesting that instantly, right off the bat, we know what Arthur's motivations are. Him and his organization are trying to bring Amit back because they think that she was true justice. What he says is she grew tired of waiting for sinners to commit crimes before punishing them. And I really like that because we know that Amit can see past, present, and future. Amit knows everything that you're going to do. So that's why she didn't want to wait for you to do those things when I can just kill you now and cross judgment, which is wrong, right? And I want to get all of your perspectives on that. So Abe, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of Ethan Hawke as Arthur Harrow in this episode? What do you think about his devotion to Amit and his followers?
Well, you know I love my thrillers, paranormal movies that include the religious fanatic. You know, like Stigmata and them. You know how I love those films. So us opening on this sequence, off rip, I already knew what was going on, and I was like, how you gonna really capture the seriousness, the devotion of this whole sequence? So having him start off with, first of all, we didn't even know it was him, just hands on the table, that's all we get. Drinks the cup, it sprinkles a little something, drinks the cup, falls over, it takes the cane, bam. Then you're like, what? Brings the shoe. Now we know why the shoes on the table too. Brings the shoes over, fills it up, and you're like, no complaint. Gets himself ready, starts walking. And then that's it. And then we go into the opening title sequence. Bro, like this shit was just so well done, and Ethan Hawke is doing such a good job of really capturing that fanaticism of his faith and truly believing in it. Because when it comes to religious fanatics and all types, these types of movies, all for rip, I'm like, yeah, that's what you think your God wants. That's not really what your God wants,
right?
But you find out the hard way. And then sometimes that person knows, other times they don't know, and part of me feels like Ethan probably doesn't really know. Like there might, it could be true that Amit has a distinguished purpose, but it could also be true that it's not who we think it is, and her purpose is not what we think it is either. But he's so devoted to it, or else he wouldn't put glass in his shoes and he walks in it, 24/7,
all day.
Yes,
all day.
It was just dope, and it made me think like, yo, this conflict right here that we're going to get between the two is going to be top tier stuff because he's smart. Like he realized there's chaos within you. He realized that, all right, you could be right, Steven. but there's something within you that's a problem.
Chaos.
And there's something in you that I recognize too, because what did he say? He's like, oh, she was betrayed by interlink guys and even her own avatar. Avatars even betrayed their and I thought that was funny too. But Steve is like,
Avatar
oh yeah, those
blue
people. Yeah.
Blue people Avatar.
Oh, you mean the anime?
Anime.
He's like, stop, just stop
Steven,
talking. Just stop.
Stop.
I love that comment.
Yeah.
I love that comment that Disney said Avatar's an anime. I'm like, all right, cool. It's sold. Avatar's not a Western animation. It's an anime. I love that scene.
Oh no, because he says just stop. So it's still open ended because he could have just said stop as in like we're not getting into this and you're wrong, or could have just said stop like I don't know. So who knows? So
it's ambiguous.
That debate. We're gonna keep it alive and away from me. We're gonna keep it away from me.
Abe, another question real quick before we move on. What do you also think about how the scales are used in the judgment?
I like that
Really
it's a
good.
tattoo, and I like that it moves like that. And you don't know which way it goes, but when it's bad, it's bad and it goes red, and then what the power does. Because that's the reason where I'm like, all right, I may not be, because let's be real, that lady's like in her late 70s, 80s. Boy, the worst she could do is just accidentally, and if that's the case, context matters.
Right.
Like, hey, she might have done something bad, but she might have not known it was bad. It led to a bad consequence.
Right.
She's still
I mean, is she just doing graffiti? Like,
yeah, like because there's that thing when it comes to blind justice, you don't want blind justice. You really don't, because blind justice means it's either right or it's wrong. There's no in between. There's no room for error. And when you get into a society or a situation like that, most of us are going to be fucked. So like, this is one of those situations where it's just blind justice, either right or wrong. And I'm excited to see that play out because it's going to hit close to home for Steve soon, and it's going to drive him off the edge. And that's when we're going to get some, and maybe that's a triggering moment in episode 4, but it's about to pop off. And Ethan Hawke, flowers to that man, because you're doing a motherfucking great job right now.
Yeah, he's killing it, and I can't wait for the Black Phone. Like him and Scott Derrickson teaming up again after Sinister. Oh my god, it's gonna be sick. But Vash, what about you? What are your thoughts on Ethan Hawke's character?
Like James just said, that scene in the beginning when Boy broke the glass and I started putting the show, I'm like, oh, where you going like that route? Because for those that don't know, his character in the comics, he likes pain. He likes to feel pain. He likes to be immersed in pain, in his belief and everything else. So it makes sense. But at first I was like, damn, that shit looks painful as fuck. And it's supposed to. But I wish we got a camera shot, knowing that most likely those glass is cutting him. I wish we got like a camera shot in the same sequence or much later in the episode, showing that his feet are bleeding through his shoes, or like some sort of scene like that. So that would have been dope to see. Abe, you're mute.
Yes and no. The reason I say that is because it's very clear that he's the type of fanatic that most fanatics like that don't show it off, Right. And if he's constantly bleeding, then you're basically advertising. Like, people are gonna wonder, and it becomes apparent. It brings too much attention. So I knew that wasn't coming, but I just wanted to see. What I liked about that scene was showing him not only being kind of used to this, but also how he has a routine in terms of being prepared. He puts it in. He like leans his feet back a little bit as if he like takes a deep breath to get ready, stands up, and then she's ready to go with that can of support. I enjoy that. I don't think that we'll get the other way. It really.
Oh no. Abe, I agree 100%. Like I said, I would have liked a scene like that, but for under some reasons, I understand why it was not put there. And also, I love the symbolism of Ethan Hawke in the museum when they were walking around, talking about Omid, talking about how he got betrayed, and then showing that our character Steven was walking through the museum, and we also see the mummy's father behind Steven in the back. So we see all this type of symbolism throughout the shots of said characters. So I just love how it shows that each Mark and Steven and plus Ethan Hawke character, like they're all their own version of their own avatar. So I just love the symbolism of this episode, showing that like how both of them are kind of connected, and the museum just fits very well of how both of them had this conversation. So it just fit.
Steve, what about you? What are your thoughts on Arthur?
Um, one, I always be like, when we first saw the trailer, I was like, oh shoot, Kevin Bacon's gonna be in this. And everybody was all like, Kevin Bacon, and I was like, yeah, Kevin Bacon, because he looks just like Sebastian Shaw in fucking the X-Men movie.
They get them mixed up all the time. It's crazy.
They look so much alike.
They do.
But Ethan Hawke did a really fucking good job. Just the opening scene with the glass in the shoe, and it's it kind of leads you to believe that it was actually Oscar Isaac in a sense, because you didn't know which character it was starting off the show. Because you saw him, he puts the glass in the shoe, he steps on it, he walks away, and then when he walks away, you see Oscar Isaac take his sock off to check his feet. So immediately you thought, initially, that was your thoughts. Oh dang, what is Moon Knight fucking doing? And then as they go on, you see that the actual outfit that he's wearing is fucking Ethan Hawke and shit like that. But even with the scales, I love the scales, just because of the fact that when he said that it's chaos. So if you watch closely, the scales they balance for the first guy. Then they offset for the lady, and they said that she's gonna die. But for Oscar Isaac, they never stop moving. They never stop moving. They just keep going. And he said, "You have chaos in you." And the reason why they just keep going is because it's too many different personalities to judge who is good and who's bad. And I thought that was played on well. I mean, if you're not paying attention, you didn't see it. But I caught that. I was like, yo, those scales never stop moving. They just keep going to a point where Ethan Hawke is like, fuck this. You got chaos. Like, he's like, I'm not gonna sit here and wait 7 days for this shit to stop moving or whatever. But like, I thought that was cool. Ethan Hawke, even when like he's like walking with the cane, that cane is like him basically showing that he's technically in pain because of his feet, but he's not gonna show it. Right. And that grit and that determination to lead this cult or whatever without showing his injury, I thought that was really cool too. I don't know much about his character because his character is not that much.
Yeah, there's really not much to know.
Yeah. So I have no idea if he's doing a wonderful job or if he's just being himself. You know what I'm saying? His interpretation of the character. But I think he's done pretty good so far, this first episode.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to get into favorite moments. So just in case we didn't touch on anything, I want to go into favorite moments. I want to go first. I might be stealing some you guys' favorite moments, but one favorite moment that I really want to talk about is the last 3-4 minutes of the episode in the bathroom sequence. I think everything that we've talked about so far in this review, it all comes together in this one sequence. The incredible cinematography, the lighting, how it's set up, the fact that throughout this entire episode we've seen nothing but reflections and like fractured images of Mark and Steven, and then we get to see that in the reflections. We see like an infinite number of personalities, but as soon as he focuses in on Mark is the only reflection. Even though you see all of the other ones, Mark is the only reflection in the mirror. And he's telling Steven, this is real. I am real. That thing is real. And let me save us. And then watching that transition, the camera pans, removing from one side of the reflection to the other, where they all become one. And then he transforms into Moon Knight and absolutely demolishes the Jackal. And I love that we get the camera outside where we don't know what's happening. We don't know if he was able to complete the transformation. And then it cuts back in. The entire bathroom has been completely destroyed. And he's beating the absolute shit out of that creature. So that was my favorite sequence. Just the duality and bringing all of the different themes that we've seen throughout the episode all into this one sequence. It was all encompassing. First look at the suit. Oscar Isaac's incredible acting back and forth as Steven and Mark. Steven trying to find acceptance in letting someone else take control of his body. So Oscar Isaac did an incredible job. It is hands down my favorite moment of the entire fucking episode. So Vash, I want to toss it to you. Let me get one or two of your favorite moments.
I just want to add to what you were saying real quick, saying I hope we get some type of behind the scenes of how Oscar Isaac decided for that to be the quirkiness of how they switch back with the editing, with the eyes going back and everything. I wonder if that was more of the director, the producer, or if that was more the right. Like, that's something me who works in production and also who I just want to know stuff behind the scenes. Like, how did they come to that conclusion for them to have this type of interpretation of how they switch characters? So that's very intriguing for me on my end. But my favorite moment is just the elevator scene, because it gave the horror side, and also it gave and showed the anxiety, and it showed the scaredness for Steven, and it showed how much like he's not, like, he's clueless. It showed his character like he doesn't know what's going on. Like, he just has been living his day by day, but there's more to it. There's more questions than he has more answers to. And then I keep pronouncing his name wrong, but
Khonshu,
thank you. With Khonshu, his character, again, like, this is one of the characters I at least know one about. And I love gods. I love mythos. Knowing that we finally get some type of mythos within the MCU and finally intertwining about gods. Like, we've been having a god called Thor, the God Thunder, but we have never intertwined more into the stories of God of Zeus and everybody else within the Marvel comics. And now finally Black Panther, stuff like that about their gods, and now finally talking about Moon Knight and everything. So I can't wait to see more about this character and seeing more of the books. Hopefully we get, like, I love story-based characters that we just have a whole episode about dialogue and lore. I don't care if we have an episode 3 or 4 or 5, just actually finding out its character, about Moon Knight, about
Okay.
Wait, we're back.
We are back. All right. Apologies about that. Steve, continue.
My bad. I think that was everybody's favorite scene though, was the end where JV kind of like took, because it was just so much going on in that scene with the mirrors, like how JB said, you can literally see the different personalities doing different things. They're not doing the same thing.
I'll bring this one up real quick. In the museum towards the end, where Steven is looking around waiting for the jackal, and then he walks off, and then Mark in the reflection is still there looking for the jackal. I thought that was lit.
That was the same scene I was talking about. That's Khonshu's father.
Yeah. So you get that, and then there's another scene, JB, before he leaves his apartment, and he looks in the mirror and at his reflection. He's about to walk away, but the reflection is shaking his head like,
right,
like a tisk. Like, what the fuck? Like, so I thought that was cool. Just like, I like those little Easter eggs that we got with those. There's another one. You look at the bed, the Rubik's Cube is already done.
Right.
And then when he grabs the Rubik's Cube,
I didn't notice that.
It, and he's like messing it up for himself, or I don't know what he's doing, because it's like it was already done. So you're just doing it just to play with it.
Yeah, he's trying to keep himself awake, you know?
Yeah, trying to keep himself awake. So is it him that did it, or did someone else do it? Whatever.
Yeah.
Just that whole Oscar Isaac in general is my favorite part of this show, because now, like, really deep diving like we did before we decided to freaking watch the show, just trying to figure out these personalities and things that was going on. I'm definitely trying to figure out, okay, is it just two, or are we gonna get multiple and everything like that? Which personality did this? Which personality did that? We missed a Friday and we missed a Saturday. He can't drive, but there's a cab driver, like JB pointed out. He's freaking driving backwards in a freaking cupcake truck and most trucks don't have freaking back rear view mirrors. So how the hell is he even driving backwards? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that's just like, how is that even working? It's a lot going on with Oscar Isaac, and I'm just truly trying to figure out what's going on. And I say Oscar Isaac just because I don't want to call him Steven or Mark, because you just don't know what the fuck, which personality it is.
Facts. Hey, what about you? Let me get one or two of your favorite moments that we didn't talk about previously.
First of all, Steve, you're wrong. That wasn't everybody's favorite moment, because that wasn't my favorite moment. My favorite moment I've already spoken on. It is, did that idiot just throw the gun?
Yep, I agree.
Every time Krishna was talking, that was my favorite moment. I was like, you know what? Get on his ass. Because why the fuck would you throw a gun? It wasn't even like, yo, I'm going to try to angle it and try to hit you. It was just like, what?
We need to start a new stream.
So.
It died on YouTube?
It just said, it says it's done.
Nah, on my end, it's still good.
Oh, no, it's still going on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, and same here, Steve. It's still live on my end.
Yeah, it's still live on YouTube. It's weird. Sorry about the technical issues, guys. I don't know what's going on.
I usually have it pulled up on YouTube, and it's like saying that it wasn't going.
So it's probably just you.
Sorry,
anyway, Dave, go ahead. Steve, just taking your moment.
No, I'm just trying to make sure that everybody gets to hear your wonderful moment.
Yeah, it did go out for me on YouTube for like 2 seconds, and then it came back.
Okay.
We're live, guys. Apologies.
He ruined the moment. But I have my favorite moment. You already know what it is. Y'all can go back and rewatch the VOD if you're on Twitch. You can go back and rewatch if you're on YouTube. I spoke about it and I kept laughing about it. It's the funniest moment of the whole episode. That was my favorite part. Okay, Steve.
Oh, so now Abe likes comedy. Do you believe that?
When it's done good.
It wasn't even just like, it was like you threw the. Are you stupid? You threw the motherfucking gun. Like, bro, what? And I'm glad that he said that. I'm like, yo, did he just like, yes? I can't believe it either.
I get it, because the thing is that if you just switch your body and you're being chased, like, yes, I get it. You're not a murderer. You've never shot it, but hold the gun still, because it might be useful.
I'm not gonna be like,
no, the
like, is it hot potato? Is it boiling? Like, is it hot? What's going on? It did nothing to help your situation. You know you're the life, and you're like, well, y'all want another gun? Was you offering them ammo? Oh no.
He's got more cupcakes. He can throw those.
He was apologizing for the cupcakes, so I was like, nah, you gotta do what you gotta do. Get sugar in that motherfucker eye. It's gonna bother him. It's gonna bother him. Do what you gotta do.
Oh, a quick side thing. I do want to give props to Moon Knight. First episode, it has the highest rating out of the other six series that has come out within the past year and a half of Disney Plus. WandaVision first episode has a 7.4, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier has a 7.5 first episode. Loki 8.7. What If is 7 out of 10, and Hawkeye is a 7.6, and Moon Knight a 9.1 out of 10.
That's what's up. It's a great show.
I told you that Loki want to play, baby.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But Moon Knight, this was an incredible first episode. I can't wait to see where it all goes. Some critics have seen the first 4 episodes, and they can't stop talking about how absolutely incredible episode 4 is. So I can't wait for us to get there. But I'm along for the ride. I'm along for the journey. I did read something that did say that the Moon Knight episodes are going to roughly be about 50 minutes apiece. So I am very, very excited to watch a literal 6-hour Moon Knight movie, watching Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke play off of each other. It is going to be an incredible ride.
And James, I'm pretty curious about what you just said as well, because most critics that have watched 4 episodes, like John Rolka and a couple of people I've seen, they say great episode 4, but episode 3 is the weakest out of the 4. So I'm curious to see what's so not wrong, but what makes episode 3 the weakest, or what is it that falls off in the writing, or what is it? Because that's what I've seen most people discuss about episode 3 not being so great, but the episode 4 just makes a big difference. So I am really curious about that as an episode per episode type of viewing.
Yeah, very excited to see where it all goes. This story is going to be so interesting. Can't wait to see if Arthur is able to bring Amit back. That'll be really cool to see Khonshu. I would love to see like a different like plane of existence or something where Khonshu is like fighting
like
Amit,
All For One,
kind of. Yeah, like in the All For One world type shit. I think that'll be fucking crazy. Spoilers for My Hero, but can't wait for episode 2 of Moon Knight. Steve, tell the people where they can find you online.
they just got Vash.
Yeah, you can follow me at ScubaSteve1428 on all social media. Follow the Hit Mob page. Follow the new page for My Naka Mixer that just started today. Follow Scholar Scuba Steve, which is Scuba Steve. Anyway, follow the Linktree for Inside the Mind of a Blerd, which will lead you to everybody that is part of us. We have Twitch streamers, we have YouTubers, and all sorts of other things. But yeah.
Abe?
Y'all know where to find the Mad Prince. You can find me on Twitch at Twitch_Twitch. I thought I could really get this shit on the fly. But anyway, you can find me on Twitch at Prince_ALAWAL. It is the same as find me on Twitter. I actually will be streaming in about an hour and some change. I still don't know what, because I see the homie still playing Fortnite, so I might do that one, or I might head over to Smite. I have no idea. Who knows? We might go back to Dead by Daylight. But you can find me on Twitch for sure. Head over in there and follow. You can find me anywhere else. You know, continue to just support these folks here, and you'll see me. So check out Careful for Spoilers. Check out Anime Lately. Check out My Naka Mixer. Please, by all means, don't forget to check out Spicy Lady Gaming as well. You can find her on Twitch. She is about to approach her 1-year anniversary in like 2 months.
It's been that long?
So
Damn.
It's been a year. It's been a year since she's been an affiliate. Yeah, we proud of Spicy. Just celebrated her birthday the other weekend. It was really fun. Y'all just continue to show love, support us, and you'll see any one of us, especially me, all over the place. Y'all know the vibes. I appreciate y'all.
Vash?
You guys can find me everywhere as the Legendary Vash on social media. I work in production. I have a life at the same time, don't have a life. You always can find me on Careful Spoilers, doing content. And don't forget, if you have not seen, there was a Star Wars video 2 weeks ago or less by now, and it is doing okay views. People have been liking it. If you guys have seen it, give some feedback if you guys want to see more. So it will be awesome to see if you guys want to see more Star Wars content in the future. Other than that, you can always find me always on Anime Lately on Shonen Ronin hosting, with other people coming in talking about manga coverage of the weekly Shonen Jump type of chapters and series of issues coming out every single week. And you can sometimes find me on the Anime Podcast, the main show, where you can find me sometimes. I was on last night, and I know Abe is going to hate me once he hears the ending of that podcast, because I finally said after 2 months of not being there. So it was hella fun.
Yeah, and you guys can follow me all over social media at JB Exclusive. Make sure you guys head over to carefulforspoilers.com, where you'll find all the links to the podcast on the C4S Podcast Network. The You've Got to See This podcast has 4 new episodes up right now. The last episode that they did was talking about the Oscar ceremony, and they also talked about some movie news and some other movie reviews. all in there. So definitely check out the You've Got to See This podcast. After this, definitely check out my Morbius mild spoiler review. I don't spoil anything in the movie. I spoil the post-credit scenes because they're absolute fucking bullshit, and it doesn't matter anyway. So that's the only thing I spoil in the review. So check that out.
Watch the trailer.
Or just watch the trailer. You can find it on YouTube. But yeah, definitely check out my review after this video. After you check out my review, make sure you're following Abe on Twitch so that you can watch his live stream later on tonight. Abe has been streaming consistently, like every fucking day for hours on end. So appreciate the grind. Love to see all of you guys here creating content. Chat, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for joining in the conversation. The Moon Knight review was amazing. Apologies again for the technical difficulties. We do this live. It is what it is. You know how it goes. But yeah, again, make sure you follow me on Twitter. I talk about movies on there constantly. I'm on Instagram talking about movies where I post movie reviews as well. So yeah, stay tuned. Next week, I might not be here for the next episode of Villains. So Vash and the team, they're going to be holding it down for me. So yeah, this was a lot of fucking fun. Can't wait to watch the next episode of Moon Knight, and we will see you guys on the next one.